Hello everyone and welcome to Daria Draws. Today I'm doing the second video for the sunflower field painting. So if you haven't seen the first one, you can do that in the link above. The second painting is inspired by that same song, and yes, you have to be kind of familiar with the context, so do watch the first video. Otherwise, let's just get to painting and see how the second painting really brings out that idea that I put into the first one as well. I decided to skip the first few steps, which is the underpainting in green and mixing the palette, because the colors are identical to the first painting, but the contrast will be slightly different. So I think that will be the interesting bit of this video. Over the green undertones, I am layering the skin color, or the first layer of the skin color, which of course will be changing throughout the process. The lighting is the same as in the previous artwork, so it is going to be kind of from top and behind the figure, so it's a bit of a contre-jour, and it kind of creates a very interesting atmosphere in my opinion. So once the main shadows and not the lightest lights are in places, I'm moving on to the sunflowers, and here they are going to be the stars of the canvas rather than just background like it was in the previous artwork. Here I wanted the sunflowers to be more expressive, more vivid, and of course more vibrant, with more details than the figures. So here the figures are kind of just helping the overall composition and the idea to bloom. I think that if I made the sky blue, it would create like a very cool contrast, but making it rather like a lime yellow, it kind of became even hotter, so it translates the mood of the painting even better. Just like with the previous work, I decided to dress the girls up in white. However, each one has, of course, her own individual garment to highlight the movement of each of the figures. Another difference is that none of the faces are showing. They're covering them with hands or just turning away from the viewer to emphasize the heat that is surrounding them. And of course, they're also kind of sunburnt, so in certain places you can see how red they are comparing to other places in their body. Even though with this kind of lighting the shadows have to be dramatic, I still wanted them to be very soft and gentle to highlight that since the figures represent the sunflowers, that the flowers are very gentle and fragile themselves. Bits of blue did make it into the sky of the painting, but just in kind of outlining way and just very tiny bits of it. I still wanted to keep that sky pretty warm. And even though blue wasn't going to be there in the sky, I decided to add it to create a little bit of contrast between the figures and the background, so that not everything is just pure warm. Also, you could like this video and that would help my channel grow, so I also like how the white dresses are contrasting with the leaves and the petals that are coming from the field of the sunflowers. I think it just adds really nice pops of color and kind of creates more dimension and depth. The original plan was not to make them have legs, but rather cover them completely from waist down in the flowers and leaves, but I felt like that was not enough and they needed to have that base as flowers too, kind of as if they were themselves growing out from the soil. This way it was definitely a lot more challenging to draw legs and to paint them, of course, rather than if I did that from the very beginning, but you can't be 100% always sure, and sometimes you have to change your decisions for painting's sake. But I did like the effect that came out of this. Since the flowers were there before, I kind of had to hide the legs behind them, and that created also this effect that the flowers are closer to us and then the girls are kind of like almost in this heat haze, kind of melting away. And even though the legs were added way after the torsos were kind of midway through, I decided that I still want to create that dynamic pose and the legs have to sort of continue that movement of the torso. And you're about to see the end result. I have to say this is one of my favorite artworks from the past year, and it also took about 9 months to do, so both of the sunflower fields were kind of going hand in hand, and I think that's why they complete each other so well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more content from me, and I'll see you in the next video.